Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much for sharing with us here this morning. And thank you, everyone, for sharing here, for being here. As you are this morning, this spring morning, this invitation into spiritual blossoming. How is everyone? How is everyone? Doing okay? Doing all right? Oh, okay. Well, let's explore, open to the meaning of natural great peace through meditation. And let's explore the meditation of simply resting in awareness. Simply resting in awareness. It will be lightly guided and woven through, just a little bit woven through. I will include, we will meet with some pith instructions from the great Sochen Master, Nyoshul Khenpo. So invite or mirroring this sense of relaxation. May not always feel so evident or easy to contact this inner sense of peace, this inner sense of relaxation, this possibility that is ever present of self-settling. But let's see, let's just explore and see what unfolds for us. However it goes is fine, however it is fine. So let's unbuckle. Let's unbuckle and and open with refuge, open with formal giving voice to refuge. And this prayer invites us to notice how refuge, the meaning of refuge, is actually never at a distance, though we may feel far from it. So giving voice to it, noticing the way it manifests, even if it may not seem present, but just noticing how we open to or explore the words and the meaning of the words through body, heart, mind may help to orient us. So let's give voice to this 3 times. Actually, when we give voice to it, even a single time, it may be a little bit inaccurate to say, repeat, or do it again, or say it again for a second, third, or 100,000th time. We're being invited to meet the essence of this refuge prayer afresh in each instant, not as something to be repeated as a mere habit, as a mere empty, just as mere empty words, but for real in this very instant. Sanje chodan sochi chunamla jangchu bardu takni chabsuchi ki chen so gi pe so nam chi drola pen chi sanje drupa sho. In Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, we go for refuge until enlightened by the power of generosity and the other perfections. May we realize Buddhahood for the benefit of all. In Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, we go for refuge until enlightened by the power of generosity and the other perfections. May we realize Buddhahood for the benefit of all, including ourselves. Sometimes this can feel written in invisible ink. This invitation that each moment, actually each unfolding moment, offers us to notice, to realize, to embody this moment, to awaken, open to, embody Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, awakening to the treasure that is our intrinsic loving awareness right at home, our birthright, so close, as is said, that we may overlook it. There's a Zen teacher whom I also have been studying with, practicing with, and he taught, was it just last weekend or the weekend before, with dear Lama Liz. And he has what we could call the four limitless phrases, four limitless phrases. So it's Ryushin's four limitless phrases. And if it feels right for you, you can simply feel the resound or even repeat them, so to speak, within yourself. Just notice how it lands for you. If it feels strange or an irritation or delightful or joyful, wild, however it may be, just explore. May I love myself. May I love myself right now. May I love myself exactly as I am. May I love others exactly as they are. May I love myself. May I love myself right now. May I love myself exactly as I am. May I love others exactly as they are. May I love myself. May I love myself right now. May I love myself exactly as I am. May I love others exactly exactly as they are. So feeling the way you are seated, noticing the way you are seated, feeling your contact, your in touchness with the seat, the cushion beneath you. Simply noticing how far this in touchness with the chair, cushion beneath you extends through you. Can you feel this contact through your belly, through your back, through your chest? Just noticing, no need to try to change or fix that. Feeling the weight of you, the fullness of you, the life of you, this precious human life. This Buddha on your seat. Body settling, the fullness of this life, this moment. Senses open, including the eyes, if that feels right for you. If not, that's fine. Posture open. Ears open. Sense of tactile sensations. The whole of this body open. Heart, mind open. Can you feel the flow of air through you, flow of breath? This flow we share with countless beings, with the earth. Can you feel the way this breath flows through you? Can you feel this flow of breath through your chest? Through your head, through your back, through your belly, through your arms. If not, that's fine. We're just exploring. No need to change, to fix anything. Simply breathing as you are. This very moment is timeless moment, inviting you to be simply as you are. Whatever is happening, this Buddha on your seat. This lineage of self-existing wakefulness, this loving awareness, that does not come and go. sensing the presence of your benefactors, spiritual benefactors, other benefactors, whatever they may be. Sensing their presence in your heart. Connecting with the essence of your benefactor in your heart. Connecting even beyond notion of two. Recognizing unconditional care, compassion, love, through which we're seen by our benefactors, already home in our heart, already present, ever present. Wisdom teacher, right at home, simply being, simply allowing. Nothing to fix or judge. Do. What a relief to meet yourself with so much kindness, so much kindness. Be relaxed, at ease, spacious. Just let be as natural, spontaneous presence. Rest like space in vast, empty clarity. Rest like the sun, self-clarity without fixation. Rest like the ocean, deep, still. Rest like a mountain, motionless. And unchanging. simply resting as you are. No need to cling to thoughts. Notions of what should or should not be happening. This flow of openness, of life through you. Not clinging to past, not drawn to notions of future, not clinging to the flow, this flow of openness, While the speaker may come and go, our essential nature does not. No matter what happens with the internet, our essential nature is right at home. So we have a break, a little, some time. We're invited to notice how the essence of our meditation practice can be carried with us, can open to developing or being invited to develop stability in our practice, such that the meaning of our practice, the essence of our practice, such that when we move from our seat, we leave nothing behind. Everything that we need is always present, always with us, moves as we do. See you at 11 o'clock. Okay. Hello, everyone. So let's dive into Nyoshul Khenpo, but first, this pith instruction, this spontaneous song of experience, a spontaneous song of awareness. But I thought it could be helpful to share a few photographs first. And so photographs of Nyoshul Khenpo, so you have a sense of what he looked like if you don't already know, and they're quite revealing, these photographs. They express so much, simply through the quality of his presence. There's, even in the photograph, there is so much that is communicated, so much teaching that can flow through to us, even in regard to the way we sit, the way we stand, the way we move, in terms of this quality of presence. So, it'd be wonderful if you could help. Yes, wonderful. Yeah. So this is maybe the most famous photograph of Khenpo. His knees are up a little bit because he's on the rocks. Normally when he's seated in formal meditation, guiding meditation, he's sitting in the posture that's called the easy, comfy posture of Longchenpa, which is with his hands on his knees, just as you see here, resting in the Vajra position or cross-legged position. But you can see simply through the quality of his sitting, everything, every cell is awake and vibrant. He's engaging in sky gazing, and this is the way, simply through the photograph, of how you sky gaze, and you can sky gaze even right at home in your room. It's an attitude, an outlook, though of course working with the sky as we train is most helpful. You see in the quality of his sitting, in sky gazing, there is no direction. He's on the throne of rest. There's no sense of orienting oneself to direction, of up or down, north, south, east or west. There is no boundary, no edge, no center. Sky gazing, not clinging to clouds that pass by, but thoughts or clouds, whatever may arise, pass through. There's no need to cling to them, allow them to come and go. So this is a beautiful illustration of sky gazing, which I personally, at least, have always found very inspiring, kind of mirror, this invitation to really relax most deeply from the inside. And then there's a photograph that I took on one of my pilgrimages in Tibet. This is a view from the pilgrimage site of Samye Chimpu in central Tibet. Samye Monastery was built by Guru Padmasambhava, the great tantric master of meditation who brought the Vajrayana teachings to Tibet from India. And Samye Chimpu, you have to cross the river here, the Brahmaputra, as it's called, from Samye to the meditation caves that are up even further, the mountains all around. Here you're around 15,000 feet up or so, something like that. And in these caves, great masters of meditation practice like Yeshe Tsogye, like Guru Padmasambhava, like Jigme Lingpa, like Longchenpa, and like Nyoshul Khenpo. And this is the view from Longchenpa's cave. This is where Longchenpa came. He had practiced there for many years earlier on, and then he left for Bhutan. And some of you may have been to travel to Bhutan on pilgrimage to Bhutan with Lama Liz. He visited sites where Longchenpa practiced. He returned to Samye Chimpu to die, to pass away from that life. And this is the view from his cave, and it greatly inspired many of his writings. This view was in itself profound training for him. It invited the books, all the teachings that he transmitted forth through him came into this world. And actually, when I was there, I was on pilgrimage with a few friends, a few fellow students. This was back in the 90s, late 90s, and Lama John actually was on that trip, that pilgrimage. And then the next photograph, yes, I love this photograph of Khenpo, where you feel his compassion, his tenderness, this great tenderness, this great tenderness of heart. He was, as mentioned, a great lineage master and of the Longchen Nyingtik tradition. Great master of the non-dual teachings, great master, teacher of Longchenpa's teachings, Jigme Lingpa's teachings. This lineage of blessings all the way back through to Gerab Dorje, the first known embodied master of the what came to be known as the Dzogchen teachings. And this is the pith instruction, the spontaneous Vajra song that we'll be exploring today. I love how Amanda brought these two together. And so we'll go over line by line. natural great peace. Rest in natural great peace, this exhausted mind, beaten helpless by karma and neurotic thought, like the relentless fury of pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. Rest in natural great peace, this exhausted mind, beaten helpless by karma and neurotic thought, like the relentless fury of pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. It makes clear the cost of clinging, the cost of clinging to our habit patterns that ever repeat, this clinging to self, this clinging to all the selfing that we engage in. It's clinging to notions of past, future, present. On an outer level, this song of realization that flowed forth through his heart unto us. On an outer level, it has a grandfatherly invitation to begin to listen into our hearts, listen into the meaning of what it is that we truly love. Of love beyond what we want the truth to be, opening down through the notions and levels of truth in light of our personal experience unto the essence of our essential nature, our intrinsic wakefulness. We're invited to deeply listen into the meaning of this song within our heart, mind, body. Listen in even beyond the words. And words are nothing more than rice husks, as one master of meditation said. We're being invited through this song to meet it within our own hearts, to meet it beyond merely words or concepts, even the nicest concepts, even the nicest teachings that we hear from our teachers. We're being invited to explore the meaning in light of our own life, our own experience. Otherwise, these beautiful teachings, these really fine words that we feel so drawn to, that we may feel enlivening us, sparking us. Without really exploring in the light of our own life, light of our own experience, such meaning. They are as a patch, and as one great master saying, a patch wears out and falls off. How can it ever be real when we haven't really tried it out, tested it out? This song is as a pith instruction, which is a potent, pithy, essentialized, crystalline instruction that cuts to the heart of the matter, So it really pays off to pay attention, as one of my teachers is fond of saying. Otherwise we'll miss what is so close that we overlook it. Rest in natural great peace. What is meant here in this heart-to-heart instruction that that is flowing forth through Nyoshul Khenpo to our own hearts. Potentially, this heart-to-heart talk, heart-to-heart teaching, is flowing forth. It's arising through, coming through an unbroken lineage of meditation masters, an unbroken lineage of blessings. And we're learning to attune to this, harmonize to this through our own practice, through our awakening heart. We're learning to be open and available for this awakened energy. Through our practice, through our training, we're learning to become more available to this field of the divine that is not separate from us, that is not at a distance from us, though we may feel at a distance from it. As one of my root teachers is fond of saying, we can't miss. We can't miss. It's like great, we think of, say, Saraha, a great Indian master, tantric master from India, early ancestor, who learned to make arrows. In this light we can't miss when we really come alive to the essence of these teachings. But of course in our training we may need to really work with that, come to understanding of that over time. This relational reciprocity that nourishes and sustains us in light of our unfolding connection, deepening connection with the meaning of this teaching. Benefactor. In light of such teachings, in light of such benefactors that we may feel drawn to, we're learning to recognize as we began to explore in our meditation practice earlier, learn to recognize the benefactor that is right here at home, this treasure within us, within our own heart, that is not separate. We're learning to recognize not only through practice the enlightened wisdom heart qualities of unconditional love, compassion, that are ever present through us in all beings, even those who challenge us, when we really orient ourselves to this benefactor that is seemingly outside us, mirroring the benefactor within us, mirroring the enlightened qualities within us. Such a relational field is regarded as vital, This is how we learn to recognize, awaken to, clarify the intention within our hearts to love others, develop compassion for others, develop empathy for others, as well as for ourselves. In fact, learning to, Jingwei has come to visit. It's a dear kitty cat. For the benefit of all, for the benefit of all. Learning to recognize these qualities in self and others through this connection, ultimately beyond notion of two, with this benefactor, I mean to say. To rest in natural great peace, we train to release in our judgments, our clinging, through the alchemy of bodhicitta. The alchemy of bodhicitta, For those of you in the Maga program, these practices of bodhicitta really are such an extraordinary way for us to come into ever deeper in touchness with what is ever fresh and present, has ever and always been so within the heart. Within our heart, and ultimately the heart of the phenomenal world. And this is what our practices are inviting us to attune to, harmonize with, that which does not come and go. Our secure base, as Lama John has been so fond of saying. It's so precious along the way of engaging in these very personal, most personal bodhicitta practices, working with our challenges, our difficulties. It's so precious to come alive to what supports our clinging to thoughts, what supports our clinging patterns, what supports our, as it were, clinging to the hidden beliefs we may hold around a sense of inadequacy, our judgments about ourselves, any sense of unworthiness that we may hold about ourselves, including a sense perhaps that some of us may harbor, that we're unworthy to realize these profound teachings. We're being invited through our various compassion practices to really attend, to notice, to pay attention, as it were, to what is unfolding through us, bringing everything into the light of love, all these parts, as I said, to the light of love. Attention changes, heals the situation. It gives us space. Gives us space. The question is a question that I have personally found so helpful. A question that I found so helpful to just let drop down through all the layers of myself, to really notice over time what is present, what is awakened, and that is what is blocking the light of my compassion. What is blocking the light of my compassion? These places, these parts within myself, where this unkind inner critic is so harsh, is so limiting, that is so I so believe in that, have so believed in that it presses me to live, say, in a way that repeats. So our training, our practices, this very song is inviting us to unwind, as it were, these constrictions, these hidden beliefs, these self-images, these notions, ideas, all these conventions, ultimately, that come about through selfing. We learn to recognize them, these knots through us, through our practice, and they unknot, as though in space, untie, in space, release. We begin to relax, soften, as though in the sunlight of our intention to awaken for the benefit of all beings, including ourselves, our intention to be kinder, more open, more loving, more empathic, including more self-empathic, for this one right here. This exhausted mind, rest in natural great peace, this exhausted mind. As we learn to notice, recognize, trust in our intrinsic, our basic goodness that is ever and always present, this basic goodness that, as we awaken to this, naturally clarifies, unveils our vision of so-called others. We're learning from the inside, to see through our judgmental impressions, our biases of others, the ways in which we diminish or objectify beings who experience suffering. That extends also to us. We begin to awaken or attune more, harmonize with, recognize our inseparability from this natural divinity of so-called others. How this reveals itself, this natural divinity, as our practice opens up. How this natural flow through us begins to really open up beyond notions and concepts into the actual. So learning to stabilize in this. Bodhicitta, the essence of the caring moment, this very moment. One of the profound aspects, perhaps the most profound aspect of the Dzogchen teachings, as Nyoshul Khenpo, these non-dual teachings, as Nyoshul Khenpo would teach, there's this element of loving awareness, this understanding of bodhicitta, where we open to practice for the benefit of all beings. We open to this wish to enact, to embody utterly and completely this wish to awaken wholly and completely for the benefit of all beings. It's this understanding of bodhicitta that really sets, as it were, that is, how to phrase it, is a most profound aspect of the Dzogchen, or the non-dual teachings in Himalayan Buddhism. Not just in words, but in actuality. That's what makes, can go online. I didn't think to bring it here. There are photographs, or maybe actually just through seeing those teachers that we connect with, like Lama Willa or Lama Liz. For some it's Anam Thupten or Tsoni Rinpoche, Thich Nhat Hanh, our grandmother, our ancestors, whomever, whatever that may be for us, our benefactor or benefactors, can really open us, awaken us to this dimension, this wish to awaken for the benefit of all beings. So learning to attune to the safety of this secure base that does not come and go, this flow of our intrinsic wakefulness, this flow of loving awareness. That is our birthright. In this light, becoming refuge, or simply being refuge for all beings, simply by learning to rest, relax, without having to do or become anything. Being refuge, being this benefactor right at home, this treasure right at home, as is said. This treasure right at home. It's so powerful, isn't it, to meet another being, another precious human being or animal, this natural world without concept. This is the ultimate recognition of another being, this ultimate respect or reverence, this true love that we can offer another simply by being wholly, utterly present as we are, without any veil, without anything filtering, without any judgment. So this is our training, opening to that and bringing up, embracing that which obscures that, learning to rest with that, be with that, which this aspect, this veil, dissolves in turn in the sunlight of our devotion to the truth for its own sake. All of this is beyond price, of course, beyond price. We all have the power to offer this reverence, to simply be as we are in reverence, offering reverence to our gaze for another. We all have the power to offer this, to be this. This may be why we feel so drawn unconsciously to particular teachers, because their gaze is so open, so unfiltered. Yes, they're human beings. We don't want to idealize, to engage in kind of mirroring transference, and yet there is a real quality that we find ourselves attuning to. This was so beautifully embodied, say, just his name arises now in Thich Nhat Hanh. So just really, just feeling the presence, the quality of this presence, even beyond words, his teaching, as with Nyoshul Khenpo, and so on. We feel just this accepting quality as we are, no matter how we may see ourselves. This light of unconditional love, inviting us to learn to meet this quality within ourselves, for ourselves and all. Bodhicitta. Beaten helpless by karma and neurotic thought. Rest in natural great peace, this exhausted mind. Beaten helpless by karma and neurotic thought. When we feel trapped, when we feel trapped, caught, helpless by repeating thoughts, notions, judgments, this neurotic clinging to self and others in some way, holding to ourselves, to the hidden beliefs that we are deficient or unworthy, incapable. So, which is so painful when, say, even in meditation, we may very subtly reject what is unfolding through us on the cushion, on the chair, reject what we feel, reject our thoughts. And of course, when we reject our thoughts, reject how we feel, we're rejecting ourselves, which is so painful. So, all these various trainings, teachings, practices, whichever ones that we feel especially drawn to, especially spark within us, or inviting us to notice, to allow, to love what is here even the most difficult aspects of ourselves. As Nyoshul Khenpo sang in another one of his teachings, so get out of the construction business. Stop building bridges, he said. This is a quote. Stop building bridges across the raging waters of samsaric existence, attempting to reach the so-called far shore, nirvana. Better to simply relax, at ease and carefree and total naturalness, and just go with the primordial flow, however it occurs and happens. And remember this, whether or not you go with the flow, it always goes with you. And yet it is not so easy, or so it seems. First, we must recognize this profound view, this innate wakefulness, this primordial awareness, this rigpa, as is called, our innate great wholeness, then train in it. And in this light, attain unshakable stability in that. This is the path of practice, path of training, learning to undistractedly maintain the view or outlook to which one has been introduced. To be distracted is another word for forgetting. So, recalling our glimpses, the glimpses that we have all experienced in our lives, whether simply being out in the natural world or held in the loving gaze of dear ones, pets, spirit animals, strangers that we meet with, beloved ones, teachers, however our benefactors show up for us. When we learn to recognize, when our glimpses, our recollection falls away and the glimpse becomes ever more on the spot, we recognize that, then this sheath, as it were, this sheath of momentary dualistic mind falls away. It dissolves. It dissolves. And this can occur gradually through study, through practice, spiritual practice, analysis, or it can occur suddenly through the coming together of causes and conditions, as I said, including when we meet with a particular teacher with whom we really feel a profound resounding in our heart, which may not be immediate, I know that I have met with teachers with whom it has not been immediate, and I have met with teachers with whom it has felt immediate. And of course this can extend to teachers who passed away long ago, and yet whom we feel so drawn, so deeply connected that this connection really reveals itself as timeless. They are present to us, as it were, in the immediacy of our unfolding life. This can happen too, and there are beautiful stories about this in the Tibetan tradition. Yeah. I love the story, just briefly to share, of there's also a lineage master in this same lineage of Ajahn Lingpa, Longchenpa, Guru Rinpoche, all the way through to Nyoshul Khenpo and beyond. And this was Pato Rinpoche's teacher, whose name was Gyawen Yugu. And his teacher, his name was Jigme Lingpa. And Gyawen Yugu, he had heard about this guy oh, he sounds like someone I really connect with. I really feel drawn to going to meet with him. Oh, that would be so wonderful, you know. And so he gathered up he really cared that deeply. He felt so drawn. He felt such an intuition that he needed to meet with him that he gathered up the bit of money that he had, and had that, and bought a bit of nugget of silver. And with that silver, he embarked on pilgrimage to go find this Jigme Lingpa whom he'd heard about. But along the way, he was robbed. He was robbed of the silver, and he felt despairing. He felt so depressed, a sense of despondency. Oh no, you know, I wanted to give this teacher, really let him know how deeply I feel about really wishing to explore this profound wish to really practice with him. So he had thought about cutting off his pilgrimage short before meeting with Jigme Lingpa, but he decided to continue. And so he went, and finally the day arrived, after much hardship actually, storming, the thief, events happened along the way of this outer pilgrimage, along the way of this inner pilgrimage. And finally one day he was in the very presence of Jigme Lingpa, and he shared with him, Gyalwin Yu shared with him this story of, oh, I have this silver I had wanted to give to you. I wanted to show you, you know, how much I really wanted to practice with you. It really has meant a lot to me. I found you very inspiring from what I've heard. I want to discover for myself whether this is true. Whether this is true for me. And Jigme Lingpa, he said, it's not about the silver. It's about the offering of your practice. It's about offering yourself to the life of your practice, the meaning of your practice, for the benefit of all beings. This is what really matters. So let's practice together and see. Let's explore. You know, no worries. I found that such a beautiful story. Very, very inspiring. Just briefly, there was, are we doing okay? Is this okay? Is this okay? Everything is okay? Okay. I thought I would share a story of a wonderful teacher. Well, a writer and teacher. Maybe some of you read the interview with him, Ocean Vuong, in the New York Times yesterday. Did anyone happen to read that interview? Yeah, wasn't that amazing? That was such an incredible story. I really loved it. So, so just to share briefly from this interview, he is a gifted poet, gifted writer. He arrived in this country just essentializing with his mother in 1990 from Vietnam when he was young, and they began trying to find their way in this new land through poverty, through government housing, through seeming otherness, through imputed caste upon them, through alienation, through the suffering, through this living on the margins of, living on the edges of society. And for a long time he worked in fast food, apparently, at fast food restaurants. Along the way of this, of course, meeting with the wages of poverty, but meeting not only with the societal and deeply personal costs of poverty, but also in this light of working with these his fellow beings at these fast food restaurants, his understanding of family began to open up. His understanding of communing with others began to open up. And even today, he remains awestruck by this capacity within human beings to simply naturally have this wellspring, this unfathomable wellspring of kindness flow through unto others, seeming others, for no reason other than the simple recognition of their humanity, our common humanity. And this is what really illumines, really informs, infuses his work. It fuels his work. The subtle complexities, the beauties of his work in prose and poetry. And along the way of this life of his, he discovered literature and received a MacArthur so-called Genius Grant, as well as other awards. He became a professor of creative writing at NYU. And so this in itself brought up real issues, sense of disjunction around caste issues, because in regard to where he come from. And now he's finding himself in this environment. His mother was illiterate, for example. So there's so much richness for him to navigate and give voice to through his work. So much to explore this geography of communion, of suffering, this rage, cruelty, and this basic goodness, tender-heartedness. His books include his first one, On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous. It's beautiful. And then a slender work of poetry, Time is a Mother. And in this interview, at any rate, that appeared just yesterday, he revealed such an incredible degree of vulnerability, honesty, transparency, and why he comes to Heart Mind in light of this spontaneous song of realization of Nyoshul Khenpo's Doha, and the line, like the relentless fury of the pounding waves. It's because of a story that Wong tells, a story that really altered his life, really transformed, changed his life. And he feels that it's this story that really led him to become a writer. And the power of this story fuels him still. It informs him still, works through him still, goads him still. When he was 15, he worked on a tobacco farm side by side with migrant farmers. And he had to ride his bike to work every day to get there. Workers got paid under the table, and they were told that if they came every day through the entire season, at the very end of that season, they would receive a $1,000 bonus. That meant a lot for his family. For context, his mother made $13,000. So the sum of $1,000 just, it meant an unfathomable amount, as it were, to his family. So as Wong tells the story, one hot July night, when he looked out the window, he noticed that his bike that he needed to get to work was missing. It had been stolen. And he felt sure that he knew, and it was indeed the case, that who the thief was. It was that particular thief who also happened to be a drug dealer. And when Vong found him to ask for his bike back, the thief refused. And at that point, Vong says, he lost it. I lost it. He says in the interview. And at that, he went to his friend Big Joe's house, who lived across the street from the home that Vong shares with his mother. And he asked Big Joe for his gun. He begged him for the gun. And Big Joe said, Ocean, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. You need to go home. There was no question that Ocean would have used the gun to kill the thief. So in the interview, Vong, he speaks through tears. And to this day, tears fall as he relates this story, as he shares this story, at how the grace of Big Joe's discerning care, out of his kindness, his recognition of Vong's basic goodness, or just simply his humanity that he shared with him, that it was because of Big Joe's grace and kindness that his own life was spared ultimately, as well as that of the thief. Though he doesn't say this, Vong is touching on, through the story, how bound up our lives are, how bound up and spiritually impoverished when we're possessed by the enchantments of our clinging to who or what we think we are, who or what we think others are, the enchantments of our reactivity, our delusions. So as Tuk Urgyen Rinpoche says, in relation to in the infinite ocean of samsara, Tuk Urgyen Rinpoche says the Dharma can overturn the depths of samsara. This is the level at which trust arises, and this is the kind of trust that is necessary through our unfolding practice. When we don't trust, when we reject or try to somehow change or fix our immediate experience, we're not allowing ourselves to simply be as we are. We're not in contact with ourselves, as mentioned earlier. This is so painful. I remember something that Lama Rigzin Droma said once upon a time, Anne Klein. Trust is the most relaxing response that we have. Trust is the most relaxing response that we have. So this inner pilgrimage, that is the life of our spiritual practice, is inviting us into a radical honesty, which is not about fixing or changing or rejecting what we feel, but allowing what we feel, what is unfolding, to be as it is. There is loving kindness in this, self-compassion in this, self-empathy in this. This inner pilgrimage invites us not only to understand, to really recognize, to utterly trust through and beyond the words of spiritual books and poems, spontaneous songs that we read, but also to really open our hearts. It allows us to open our hearts ever more fully and utterly to the meaning of the words, to the essence of bodhicitta, present in all beings. If we don't feel that our truth and our integrity are valuable, then we won't take that risk to open up. We won't take that risk to start to start where we are. As Pema Chudran says, and there's cost to our life, cost to our circles of care, our communities, our world when we're not present, when we're not here, when we are absent. When we're not present, we are absent from our life, distracted, forgetting. We're forgetful of this intrinsic wakefulness, this rikpa, this loving awareness that does not come and go. There's a cost when we don't show up in our life. There's cost when we don't manifest our beauty, our unique voice, our unconditional love. So, as one teacher says, if you leave your mind as it is, you will see that there is nothing that can bind you. There is nothing that can bind you. We learn to recognize, trust that that is true. Through our own, for real, through our own experience. I'm afraid we have just a few moments for questions. Maybe we can have a question for one or two questions, time for one or two questions, or one question before we dedicate the merit. I had hoped to have time for questions, sharings. Could go over a little bit if there's wish for that.
Yeah, so if you do have any questions, feel free to raise your digital hands and we'll call on you to unmute. While we're doing that, I just want to let everyone know I'm dropping the donation link in the chat. If you feel so moved, your donations do help support this program and our teachers.
Any sharings before we close or question? Any wisdom words? I don't mean from me. Maureen. Hello, Maureen. I can't hear.
Sorry, I have to be on my phone and it's a little hard to navigate back and forth. Thank you so much, Camille. That was just wonderful. Two things. Can you say the end of that quote? Trust is the most relaxing response we have.
Yes, the trust is the most relaxing response that we can have,
Right.
given what is unfolding in the immediacy of our personal experience. Trust without trying to change, fix, transform, improve, alter our immediate experience, but trusting in what is here, which is down through the layers unto the essence of all our experience.
You have that all memorized, or you're?
I was drawing that out. The line was, trust is the most relaxing response that we can have. And I love that. Oh, that was so cool, feeling that through the body, the constrictions, relaxing.
Well, thank you. Yes, I just wrote that down. I keep things on the card.
Okay.
So but let me get one, share one back to you.
Wonderful.
This is from her as well. Pith instructions are not riddles to solve. They're explorations to learn from. I just love that because I have a hard time with it, so they're not riddles to solve. So that's my little contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you. Anyone else? Laurie, hi. So good to see you too, Laurie.
Thank you so much. I just want to share this. I don't know what is actually going to come out or how it's going to land, but here goes, take flight. I woke up this morning and this day was filled with such strange atmospherics, the heaviness of the air, the heaviness within myself, this depth and this oh, I said, you know what, Lori, you got to make this a day of death practice. You got to make this the last day of your life. What are you going to do today? And I said, oh, I want teachings. And then I got online. I was like, well, let me check. It's Sunday and it's still before 10 o'clock. And I showed up here and I received this beautiful medicine and I got to share it with all of you. So how precious, everything you're saying about the capacity to really receive is a relational experience of internal unclenching. And so beautiful. May this be a day of unclenching and that space. Thank you, all of you. Camille, you're freaking medicine. Very grateful to all of you. Thank you.
Here's looking at you, Lori. Medicine. Thank you. Thank you. Richard. Hello, Richard. So good to see you, too.
There we go. I was having some difficulty unmuting. Such a joy to see you, Camille. I want to say something similar. Last night it was very late and I was about to go to bed and thinking about the last week where I'm going to say this playfully, I felt beaten by the pounding waves of samsara. And I not something I always do, but I just felt like this, like I needed to check the NDF website. And I saw that you would be teaching in the morning and I immediately signed up. And I feel like Lori did. It was like the right medicine at the right time. So thank you as always for the gift of your wisdom and your teachings. It's been very beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Richard. We're so fortunate to have Richard as a senior mitra in the Maga program, so essential to the unfolding of bodhicitta through this training, this unfoldment, this awakening to this developing in touchness, this harmonizing with bodhicitta through NDF in the world. And I regard, as with Lori and Maureen, I regard Richard also as a teacher for me. And I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love how we can really learn to show up as teachers for one another. And just that beautiful way that Amanda, not only the way she has really held us through this gathering this morning, but brought forth, it was so beautiful, bringing that photograph of Nyoshul Khenpo really embodying natural great peace, radiating, emanating, transmitting natural great peace, holding the dove, and also through, but in this case, holding the dove and the spontaneous song together. That was medicine too. Yeah. So, thank you, everyone. So good to see your faces, your beauty. So we can dedicate together. Thank you. I think Oh, okay. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion, unstoppably until all are fully illumined and awakened. Be well, everyone.